This is Lights, Camera, Whatever. We are now going to jump into episode 7. The show is called Let's Talk About You. It is on Netflix, so make sure you go to Netflix and check it out. It's called Let's Talk About You. Now let's jump into the description for episode 7. It says, on a talk show, Chu Ai, that is her name, gets grilled about her opinions. She is not getting cooked. This is American slang. Grilled, while Yu-sen helps Li Yueh through his grief. I'm killing these names, I know. Mei-chih overhears a disturbing conversation. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to jump right into these questions, the juiciest questions, because it is lights, camera, whatever. Question 1. What to do when your parents start to have dementia or Alzheimer's? I think everybody on earth today, once they first learn about this disease, they automatically are thinking about their parents. We've all seen movies. We all have seen news and everything. We know what it is. We heard it. We don't know the details of it. We know there's not really a cure for it. We know there's things that you can do to prevent it and slow it down, but not to completely stop it. But for me, I think it's kind of, I would try to create some Post-it notes around the house or something like that to help them remember things. I mean, we've seen all these movies, I think like The Notebook or something, where it's just completely forgotten who the partner was. That for me, if I have like a future lover, I hope I do, I hope everybody does, that would be very devastating, because it's like, just imagine waking up to your partner who you've lived this beautiful life of love with, and they're looking at you like, why are you in my bed? So that's why The Notebook is such one of my favorite movies, because it's really that someone didn't give up on the partner and they fought for it and they did their best. But if it's your parents, that's a different story from your partner. So if it's your parents, I would have to just stay by their side. I mean, do the best that I can, play videos. I think right now we have smartphones. So I would play videos about the times that we were together, or when you told me, when you get dementia, this is what you want me to do. I would actually have a video record. I think no one can, say that the video is fake, right? And first of all, who would fake a video to their parents just to get something? But some people will. So what to do when your parents start to have dementia or Alzheimer's? That is a very sad, but honestly, guys, it is a very realistic question. We have to be very realistic about what's going on in this world. It is life. It is humans. We can't always, live for infinity. We're not all superheroes, but you have to kind of go and think and talk to your parents before that happens and say, what would you like me to do when this situation happens? I think this is a situation where you should not have to guess. So probably have a real one-on-one, man-to-man, woman-to-woman talk with your parents and say, hey, what's the case? What should we do? And also, every family should be discussing right now like a living trust or a will in advance before that moment comes. Now, question 2, what if you finally meet your idol and you find out she is a jerk? I don't really have a lot of female idols, first of all. I have more male idols because I'm a boy. And if I'll just go down the list, number 1 is probably like Denzel Washington. Number 2 definitely is Matthew McConaughey. Love this actor to death. He's one of the best. A true gentleman. And by the way, I'm watching that on Netflix right now. Great drama. And also, let me see who else. Muhammad Ali, right? Is Denzel, McConaughey, Muhammad Ali. So these are my idols. So if I met Denzel and he was like a jerk, I probably would cry. Like, because I've been looking up to him my whole entire life. Like, my whole existence of film has kind of centered around him. So we're not just going to leave it to man or woman if she or he is a jerk. If my idol was a jerk, I would be absolutely devastated. I would just be like, bro, like, you literally are like my motivation, like my daily life. So when it comes to like shooting film or doing things and using my voice, like Denzel is, he's up there in my mind. But Matthew McConaughey is like this kind of like grit and grind. I don't know, it's really hard to describe the way he affects me, but I've always loved him as an actor. Ali is just pure iconic greatness, not giving up, fighting and doing everything that he did to impact this world. So if they were jerks, I would just have to cry and say, oh man, I looked up to you guys my whole entire life and you just destroyed everything that I ever thought. But I would still keep going the next day because I'm a very resilient young man. So if I met my idol and I found out that he or she was a jerk, I would be absolutely devastated. But you got to be resilient. You got to keep going. Number 3, are you the personality type to always find a way to educate people or let people learn by themselves? I would try to drop a few hints once in a while, but I mean, me being a father myself, I don't like to just tell my kids, but like, hey, this is how you do it. I want them to fall on their face and lose a couple teeth, and learn, right? Not just, I tell them what to do and then they do it. I mean, experiential learning is it's a very good way to let anybody learn. But if it's a situation where the person just absolutely just cannot get it and cannot learn, then I would try to educate them. But I don't want to put them down and be like, hey, you're not getting this right. You'll never get this right. Because some people are like that. Some educators are like, I am an educator. I do teach business English. So when I'm educating people and training people, I don't like to belittle them and say, hey, you will never learn this. I will, use patience and my resilience of my patience to help them to be better. Because sometimes when someone really can't do it, and you just crush everything and you like the last hope that they tried in this particular subject that they're training, and you're just crushing everything that they've fought for, you could actually hurt them permanently. So don't do that. If you have the power to do that and you can do that, just don't do that. Like it's just not, it doesn't make sense. So if my personality type is, I would try to let you learn by yourself. And if you repeatedly can't learn it and do it properly or in the right way, and then I would have to educate you. The reason why I ask this question is because some people out there, for some, sign of nature or God, like they have to like educate you. Like, and it's not really like they're trying to help you. It's just some people educate you because they feel better. They feel smarter. They feel greater than you. They really are belittling you in some deep subconscious way. And I really don't like that. I don't like to do it. Even as a business English trainer, when I'm outside of class, when my students make mistakes, I'm not correcting them because we are not in class right now. I like people to be free-spirited and to learn. But when you have an individual who's always trying to make you look less as a person, my friend's karma, what goes around comes around. That's what it is. So just be careful how you treat other people, because it could be something that you're trying to learn and you need someone else's help and you're really struggling. And then, like I said, what goes around comes around. And if someone else is, they crush your dreams. So be very cautious of that. What is your personality type? That's question 3. Now, question 4, are you the type to be lovesick or who needs love? I love love. I know it sounds weird to love, right? It's crazy in English, but of course, if I have a partner and I don't see them and I, miss them, and if I don't miss them, then why are we together? Because it's like a waste of life, guys. Life is short. You don't want to be with someone that you just don't miss. Let's look at the reality of that situation. To be with someone, you are with someone in this short life that you don't actually miss. That is crazy. You are literally wasting your life. I don't care if it's for financial purposes or some benefit that you're getting from this person. If you're benefiting from this person in some way and it's not pure, organic, genuine love, like I say, guys, what goes around comes around. I do get lovesick if I have a partner because I'm a person who likes to spend time with my partner. I will never say who needs love. I'm not going to say who needs love. I don't need love, right? I would cherish it when I have it. Let me be more clear. Like, it's not like you need it. We all need money, but we have to live. But love is kind of like needed. The word for me, when you say need, I go a little bit below the surface. Is because, I try to say like, okay, is this something like for my oxygen? Is this like oxygen for me? Love? It depends on the person. If you have like a really, really wonderful relationship, it could be like that. But if you're with someone who's just, doesn't miss you at all, or you don't miss them, you're really wasting your time in all aspects of your life, the entire spectrum of being a human being and being in the existence of being a human. You're really wasting your life if you're literally with someone that you don't miss, right? Every day you got to come home to this person and look at this person and eat with this person, and you don't really care about this person. I pray for you. That's a really disaster. Now, number 5 is this: if your running mate has so many rules for sex, will you feel empty after doing it? I think this is a very crazy question because first of all, if you have a running mate, you guys are like not really in a relationship. And then you got one of it's kind of weird already, right? Because you're not really in a relationship. You could be with someone who's in a marriage or in a relationship or who doesn't have a marriage, but you guys have kind of gotten together to say like, hey, we are running mates, right? And then as you jump over this boundary of weirdness, to actually have this relationship, this type of running mate relationship with this person, they're like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and I don't like this, and this is what I prefer. I'm out the door, guys. I think that's way too much because, you're already, like I say, you're jumping over this hurdle of weirdness to actually, agree to be a running mate with someone. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of people do it because they feel like, okay, I like the challenge, I like the risk, I like the rush. That's a good word for Taiwanese to learn. And I'm not talking about rushing to the store, the rush, the thrill of having a running mate. If you're in a relationship, like, please be careful, not my business, whatever. But if you're not in a relationship and you have someone who is classified as your running mate and they start setting up all these rules, just be careful. Because what happens if you get into like a relationship? It could just be, this person could be absolutely not what you wanted. And some people need to stay running mates. I mean, actually, like that's how it is. Some people actually just don't want to be like in a relationship at all. And that's their choice. But if you're a person who's looking for love and this person only wants you as a running mate, you have to be very, very clear up front and say, hey, like this is not the direction that I was intending to go with you in my life. You have to be upfront with people, guys. The problem right now in a lot of relationships is that people are not really expressing how they feel about their partner, and they're not really expressing how they feel about the mistakes that they think the partner is making, because the other partner could possibly not be making a mistake. It's just that you haven't really clearly stated what part you don't like. And so you guys are just kind of both walking in some lie of a dream. So if you understand that, because this is a really, really serious situation. If in a situation there's rules set up and you just allow it, but you don't really like it. And then in the end, the whole vibe that you have with this partner is just, it will deteriorate. And, one of my favorite words is like, it will erode. It will just literally break down to dust and rust. And I'm a person who likes love and I will do my best to keep the fire going. But if there's something that I need to discuss, and my partner is not willing to, or my partner or running mate is not willing to openly discuss it or willing to sit down and at least try to listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, that person is not the one, because they don't even want to talk to you, right? They don't even want to sit down and discuss things with you. I mean, that's a really, really sad situation that you need to evade soon as possible. Now, number 6, it says, do you treat sex as only as an exercise or is it making love? These are sensitive questions, guys, but we're adults, man. Like this is a problem with a lot of relationships. There's a lot of things that we have to discuss, we should discuss, and we just run away from it because it's like taboo. Remember we talked about taboo in a couple episodes ago. And as you're watching this show, like please leave your comments and suggestions. I have to know. These are just my personal opinions. This is just Teacher Ray's personal opinions about a lot of categories, a lot of, conversations that we should be having because it's lights, camera, whatever. And that's the problem right now. Society is not diving into the whatever. We're diving into what's on the surface. And then we're dreaming about the whatever, in our quiet time, in our peaceful time. And then when the conversation comes out, it's like, oh, sorry, I don't have a comment. But actually, that's when you should be learning from other people. That's when you should be hearing other thoughts. Now, you don't have to agree with those thoughts, but it's always good in any conversation, in any subject. Love is a subject, right? I don't know if you want to call it a course or want to love 101, but if there's any subject or topic or conversation or theory of anything to discuss, you should be open to hear other people's opinions. I mean, you should not completely block yourself out. There's a lot of people out there right now in Taiwan and US that are literally living a lie. They're going around pretending like, oh, we're together, we're, in love, we're happily in love, and they're absolutely not. But because people are always trying to prove to the public opinion, prove to their social media. And I got another question for you. Like, I mean, if you're really, really in love, would you show all of your love and affection on social media? And I heard some of the best relationships out there, like, nobody knows about it. That's what I heard. Nobody knows about it. And now the reason why I ask this is it like an exercise, right? Is because if you're treating it as an exercise, then that is actually classic, in a classification standpoint, that is your running mate. If you're treating it as an exercise, because it's supposed to be about bonding together, making love together, enjoying this moment together. And one thing that really bothers me, like in Taiwan, is like a lot of Taiwanese would say, "Oh, we're trying to have a child," and I'm just like, well, that's your partner. Just have fun, so when you just have fun with your partner, you don't have to say like we're attempting. I think if you're young and your partner's young and like, just try, just have fun. You don't need to say like we're trying, or maybe some people just don't want to say it that way. But honestly, I when I think two couples are young and they're enjoying, their youth together, I think you don't need to try to have a baby. I think just enjoy your life. Because once you classify it a certain way, you take the fun out of it, right? So when you treat it as an exercise, I think it's really, really terrible. You should just make love with your partner. Now, if you're treating it as an exercise with your partner, I have to say, this is my opinion, this person is your running mate. That's all I have to say. Number 7 is a juicy one, and I'm sorry, I got to ask this. If you don't think sex and love are the same thing, would you allow your partner to have a booty call? First of all, I think sex and love go together, right? And I would not, at 11 p.m. at night, just look at my partner, and my partner's like, "Hey, I'll be back in a couple hours," and you're looking like, "Okay, I know where you're going." That is just the weirdest thing on earth. I mean, literally, could you like just make love with your partner? Chill, watch movies, get your popcorn, whatever, Netflix and chill. I don't know. I guess in Taiwan it's KK box and chill. Whatever you guys got going on. And then your partner's like, "Okay, I'll be back in a couple hours, don't wait for me to sleep." Would you really, really accept that? I mean, if they're going out with their friends, yeah, they're going out to have drinks and whatever. I mean, it's weird, like right after making love. I mean, but, we can't control people, guys. We don't own anybody. But honestly speaking, if my partner went out to have a booty call, like when they got back, I probably wouldn't be there in the apartment. But this is the question: would you accept it? Because there's a part in the show, we don't want to spoil the show, but I think from the question, what was stated in the show already. It says sex and love are not the same thing. One of the actors or actresses, I won't say which one, so you got to watch it. It's on Netflix. This is episode 7. They stated that sex and love were not the same thing. And that immediately, when I saw that scene, I wrote down this question. I said, this is going on Lights, Camera, whatever, because this needs to be talked about. This is absolutely crazy. So would you allow your partner to have a booty call? This situation would not apply to me, because it's like, if I'm with a person and we're in love, why do you have another running mate? Right? It's just absolutely insane already. Like, you have another running mate and we're in a relationship. So I'm too sensitive for all that. But I don't know, it's a different world right now. Some people are, they're out there, I don't know even what to call it. I guess living in a circus of love. It's a zoo, I guess, if you put it in another, frame of words. But for me, no. If you don't think sex and love are the same, I think I had to put this question because I know some people are going to be like, yeah, that's a crazy question. But they do talk about this in the show. Now, the question 8 here is also very interesting, right? It says, are you single because you are afraid of being committed to love? A lot of people are. A lot of people are, definitely. Some people are just absolutely afraid of being committed to love because they don't know if they can handle it. And also, they don't know if, they've been hurt before. I mean, if you've been hurt before, I totally understand. Yeah, I can't blame you. So that's number 8. And number 9, it says, do you believe you are infected by the love impotent? This is an interesting question. I mean, first of all, I like how they have the word, infected, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the meaning. I'm going to try to pull up the meaning of love impotent. Let me see here. Let's see, specific impotent. I'm on Google right now. You're actually on Google with me right now. It says unable to engage in making love. And also, okay, some words here I'm not going to say because this is a public radio. But basically, you can't keep the fire going if you want to if you want to put it another way. So that's love impotent, right? I am personally not infected by that, but some people are, love impotent. They just can't keep that fire going. 10, are you really scared of love and commitment, or is it a defense mechanism? This is very similar to number 8. A lot of people are just scared of this, and this is a defense mechanism. So if you have someone that you really, really love or would like to be in love with, just have a little bit more talks with them. And that firewall that they call a defense mechanism to block them from being in love with you back, it will slowly come down. Just keep talking to them. Don't give up. And lastly, number 11, could you date someone who was always in the nightclub or special hotel? I'm a man, so I don't think women will go to these hotels. Men do. So this is kind of the question for the women for the special hotel part. But as a man, you could date some girl who's always in a nightclub. Lounge bar, yes. If you started to date them and that was their life and that was a business, I totally understand. But if they just started doing this after you were dating and started dating, something's missing with you and something's missing in your relationship. So be very, very cautious about your relationship. Could you date someone who was always in a nightclub or special hotel? So that one's kind of more for the women for the special hotel part. Now for the men, if your girl is out there always in that nightclub, okay, just how much you can take, that's totally on you. And that is episode 7 for Let's Talk About Chu on Netflix. And this is Lights, Camera, Whatever. And make sure you leave your comments and replies. See you next time.